Morning, guys. How many got? I only got one of you in here. Who's watching? Put a note down there. Let me know who it is. 2 people watching. Got a few things we'll cover this morning, guys. We'll just hang around for a little bit and see if we get a few more people join us. But it's not the lives aren't really a regular sort of scheduled thing. So it was a little bit of a last minute thing that I thought I was going to go out this morning and do a live outside. It's bloody raining. It's not much going on at all out there. Hey, Greg. How are you, Greg? Yeah, so it's absolutely raining outside at the moment. So if you hear, while we're sitting here talking this morning, if you hear some weird sort of funky bleating noises, it's our goats outside. I don't know if you guys know, we actually have dairy goats here. So not only do we do work on the dairy farm with all the cows, but we've also got dairy goats here, and the dairy goats are largely part of what my wife does with making soap and beauty products and stuff. So she has her own website and stuff. It's called windellafarm.com.au. Who we got here? Beautiful day. Wouldn't it be snowing and stuff there, man? Northern California. Maha 14. Are you the fellow that comments on my post that I've got to go and put it into Google Translate to say see what you're saying? Assalamu alaikum. Clear skies tonight. Excited. Trying to stay out. New to me. New to me. Mead. XLT125. Not sure what that means. Best I can figure what that is a radio of some sort. So anyway, what I want to talk, there's a few of you here now, 7 or so. We'll talk about a few things here. Tips for Pixel 4a Milky Way shots. Yeah, I'll add that to the list here. Have you done much of the Milky Way stuff with the Pixel 4a yet? Who are we talking to there, Trent? Well, there's a few of us here. Let's get into it. So there's a few things I wanted to cover off here today, guys. One of them is the next phone that I'm going to get, and I think I alluded to it on Greg's podcast. If you haven't seen Greg's podcast, I'll find a way to link it in the comments here. Well, Greg, you can link it in the comments there. We spoke about a few things there. Look, honestly, when I started this YouTube channel, I learned a lot of what I learned through podcasts, and it's never actually. I never thought of looking for a podcast about phone photography. I didn't even think it existed, but there is some. So Greg, who's in the comments here, he actually hosts his own podcast. So I'll talk about it at another time. But Greg, if you've got time, mate, put a link down there, and we'll put a comment down there so people can see what it's about. So the first thing I want to talk about is the new phone, and I spoke a little bit about it on Greg's podcast, and that's the new Huawei. I think I even said that right, Huawei, the P50. It's a phone that I'll get just for this channel. It's not a phone that I'm about to use. It doesn't have Google services. It has its own other side shoot of its own way of apps and stuff and its own operating system. But the main thing I want to get it for is that it's the first phone that's in existence that's got a 1-inch sensor. That's a massive sensor. And for what we do on this channel, that's potentially going to be the best phone camera for taking the sort of photos that we take here. So I'm going to get it just to review it, see how well it works, test it against the iPhone and the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, and we'll just see how we go. That's due for release, that phone. That's due for release in about a week. So I would say in the next, for those who don't know, I generally film my videos anywhere between a week and a month out from when you actually see them. But with stuff that's trending, like a new phone, for example, like the S21 when it came out, I pretty much put all the other videos back a little bit and put that one in just so it takes advantage of that trend of that new, what people are talking about, if you like. So that will be the next phone that we test out here. Don't worry. There'll still be the iPhone. There'll still be the Galaxy. There'll still be the Pixel. We'll still do all that sort of stuff that we've always done anyway. I've got a heap of videos already done, like the panorama video, the video where we've shot multiple shots of the night sky and stitched them all together into a panorama. I think I put a post on it on the community tab one time, but that video will come out, I think it's Monday. There's a couple of other things I've been testing with light painting and stuff, which the results so far have been pretty bloody good. So stay tuned for that one as well. Yesterday, now that we're allowed to start doing things here in Australia again, to an extent, in Melbourne, in Victoria at least, I've started actually being able to do my proper photography work again. So I went yesterday to a place called Bendigo, which is a pretty big town. It's about an hour and a half's drive from me. And on the way back from there, it was getting to sunset, and there's a lot of smoke and haze around in the area, and the cloud was coming over. We're about to get a pretty good rain event at the moment. And the sunset just turned ridiculous. It was bloody awesome. So I've actually ended up shooting a video just for that. So that'll come out in a couple of weeks. But if you follow me on Instagram, I took a photo. It's all with the phone, and I took a photo and put it onto my Instagram page last night, I think. And you'll see what I'm talking about. It's nuts. When I'm talking about this sort of thing, I've actually just started looking at a program called OBS, which is Open Broadcast System, I think it's called. The way I do these lives at the moment is strictly through YouTube, using YouTube's live feature. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with OBS and the way that broadcasts. Basically, it lets me share pictures and share screenshots, and I can even show you my screen while I do things. So this will probably be the last live that I do like this, where you see like whiteboard and hats hanging and things like that. You'll probably see it a little bit different, and I can show you how to do things while we're sitting here talking, not just this talking head jibber jabbering at you about what I'm about to do. I'll just go through these comments here. It's an old Mac from Mead Instruments. Oh, right. Fair dinkum. Reading from the UK, from the Ultra. Use your settings and got great pixel stars. Oh, that's good. Company from out of town at the door. Have to watch this. Greg's out of here. Professor, you're a regular commenter there, Professor. There's a few of you guys that comment that I see. So every morning I get up, and almost every morning I get up and go straight to my comments before I start the day and get the comments, not out of the way as such, but it's important for me to see who's commenting and make sure that you guys feel like I'm listening to what you're asking me. And old mate Professor down there, he's a regular commenter, and he's always got some good points to add. And there's him, there's Greg, and there's Zach. There's a few guys there that comment regularly and help each other out. It's quite cool. I'll just quickly go through my notes here to make sure I'm staying on some sort of a track, if you like. So I spoke about that Huawei with the IMX 800 sensor. It's a Sony sensor, and Sony sensors, in my opinion, are probably the best for low light photography with the A7 series. I shoot now on a ZV-1 for all of this stuff. Not this particular video, but next time it probably will be. At the moment, this is just the webcam on the Mac. But the videos that I've started doing now, it's with the ZV-1, and it's low. And I got that because the low light performance for recording video is on the money. Sony sensors are awesome. While I'm talking here, if you guys have got a question about videos that you'd like, so on that whiteboard that's there behind me there, that's where I list all my videos that I've got coming up and the ones that have kind of gone through the the keyword exploration that I do to see if it's worthwhile doing, and they're up there now. So they're videos that I will do. You probably can't even read that; might be a bit too blurry. But there's certainly a few videos there to do. But if there's something specific that you guys would like me to cover with the opportunity that I have here with the night skies that we have here and the phones that I have at my disposal, let me know. Just put a mention down the bottom there, and I'll add it to the list of things to do. There's a couple of apps here that are being updated at the moment. One of them, there's that C41 photo app. I'm not sure if any of you guys have used that. I've linked it in a few videos that I do. There was a video that I did. They're actually a video sponsor of mine that I had for a video, and I actually use the app. I use it all the time. And I talked about in that video that there was a night photography competition due to go out right then when I released that video, and we kind of got the dates mixed up, and it wasn't live just then, but it is now. So if you're into that sort of thing, if you're into photography competitions, and if you're into night photography, and let's be honest, if you weren't into night photography at all, you probably wouldn't be here. So take some photos, go and put on that competition and see what you get. It's worthwhile doing. The other thing is, for those that are here that shoot Apple iPhones, and you're shooting with Apple Pro RAW, you would have noticed bringing that into something like Adobe Lightroom on the mobile, it never looked like it did on the phone. That's just because of the tone mapping. And I would have mentioned at some point that all these different software app manufacturing companies, they need to basically update their firmware or their suite of profiles and so forth, and they've done that now. So you can go into Adobe Lightroom on mobile, go into one of the profiles, and highlight that it is an Apple Pro RAW image, and it will bring the tone mapping across, and it'll look more like what it did on the phone. That's never really bothered me. It's still a raw file, and you can still do some pretty cool things with it. But if you're not really into doing recovery of shadows and blacks and whites and stuff and highlights, if you're not into that sort of thing and the color space is not quite the same and you can't really adjust it yourself, well, you can do it now with the touch of a button. Where are we up to here? There's something that how many we got here? 15, 18. You guys are watching this because you enjoyed what I do, I guess. I guess there's different reasons that people watch a different YouTube channel. One is that you're probably learning something from somebody, and I'd like to think that you guys who are watching this sort of stuff learns from what I do. I'm in a unique opportunity in that I've got access to the phones and I've got access to really awesome night sky, so I can go out there and really test these things probably harder than what most other YouTubers can. When other YouTubers come out with a new phone, they'll generally just walk outside of the convention that they've just been issued the phone with and take some photos of the night sky, and that's fine. And that's probably what those phones are designed to do, is like doing some star photos or get some stars to turn up in the night sky in town. But where I am here, it's just there's no light pollution at all, so I'm really pushing these things really, really hard. So I guess you're watching this channel to see what they're really capable of doing. You're probably watching it a little bit because of this bloke and the way that I am, the way that what you see is what you get. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you about some product that someone's contacted me about and said, support this and they'll pay me money and that sort of thing. I've rejected so many of those. It's getting beyond a joke. But I only really promote things on this channel that I think are worthwhile for you guys. But what I wanted to do today was see if that's the sort of reasoning behind you watching what I do. You may have seen a video that I did with another YouTuber, and in the description of this live session that I'm doing here, I mentioned about using the power of this community that we have to help out a mate. Now, I've started this channel. it was on Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday, this week just gone. So like 4 days ago was my 1 year anniversary on this channel. It was the 1 year anniversary of my very first video. And right now, we are just shy of 20,000 subscribers on this channel. That's anyone who's in the YouTube space, that's pretty bloody impressive. And that's all you guys, all you people here watching right now and commenting on the videos that we do. It's a good it's a good start to the YouTube channel, if you like. I couldn't ask for anything more than what we've already got. At the same time that I did this, there was another fellow starting, and he started. He's up in Queensland. He's on the Gold Coast, where all the surfy beaches and stuff. And you may have seen a video that I did with him about long exposure photography. With what I used was the Spectre app. It's a handheld long exposure photography app. I shot the video underneath a pier. It wasn't really nice sunny Gold Coasty weather. It was pretty bloody horrible weather. It was all windy, and that's the one, Ralph Mayhew. And Ralph is he's a genuinely good guy. He started this channel almost the same day that I started mine. And he's a photographer up there on the Gold Coast. And he doesn't see, if you were to say, go and watch Shane Mostyn's channel, and someone would ask you, what's Shane Mostyn's channel about? You would almost certainly say it's about mobile photography and astrophotography with phones and maybe with GoPros. That's what you'd say my channel's about, is that small little niche right there. And I don't really go outside of that too much. And when I do, the videos generally tank. If I talk about trying to help out other YouTubers about what I've done to grow my channel, it generally tanks. So I've got to stick with my niche, what you guys want to see. And Ralph is a photographer up there on the Gold Coast. He does a bloody good job. He's very entertaining to watch. And he's just started doing some phone stuff as well. When I was up there, when we were doing our head-to-head challenge, if you like, with what did I use? The 12 Pro Max, and he used a Z6, I think it was, a Nikon. And we did like a head-to-head comparison of long exposure photography. And I left the Gold Coast, and I reckon within a month or so, he bought an iPhone 12 Pro Max. I think it's a Max. It doesn't matter. But he's actually started shooting a couple of videos on the 12 Pro Max as well. Now, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, what I'm trying to do is get him over. So he's got like 650, 680 odd subscribers, and he's doing a video a week or 2 videos a week, and he's quite entertaining to watch. I'll see if I can put a link onto his channel here. I cannot. I've lost it. Just have to bear with me while I'm typing on a screen here for a second. Really sorry. I thought I had his channel here. There it is. So I put a link here. What I'm hoping is that you guys will help out this fella. That's the link to his channel right there. And like I said, he started the same time I did, and he's putting out consistently good content. He does everything from proper photography with his Nikon stuff. He does iPhone stuff. He does drone stuff, and he's quite entertaining to watch. So if you can, help him out, and get him over that monetization. Like, get him to the point where he's actually earning some dollars for doing all the hard work that he's doing, and he is doing a lot of hard work. For some reason, the algorithm's just not looking at him, and he's not getting picked up. So help us out. Go and give him a hand. Let's move on and have a look at these comments here. Give me some Pixel 4a. Hello from Germany. Learn a lot from you. Smartphone photography is all I do. So, Chris, you've got a phone on your camera, and all you do is shoot the stars. That's cool. Pretty funny. That's just me, man. I'm not trying to be funny. Where else are we up to? So would you guys be interested in, if with the live setup that I was talking about before with the OBS stuff, are you guys interested in like sitting there and watching me doing editing on photos and stuff here and explaining why I'm doing things as I'm doing things? If that's what you're interested in, can you just put a note down there so I know if I'm wasting my time or not? Pixel 4a Astrophotography. Not sure what you could want to know that I haven't covered already. Use a tripod, get away from the light. Bear with me a sec. The most common question I get asked about all the phones with astrophotography is it's white. I take a photo and it's just all white. It doesn't make any sense what I'm taking a photo of, and it doesn't, what you've told me to do, it isn't working. Be mindful of that. I'm in absolute darkness and you're probably not, or potentially not, and that light is what's causing the problem. With the Pixel, I wouldn't stress about the light too much. If there's too much light, it's just not going to work. You need to know where that Milky Way is. That's what you asked for, was it? Milky Way shot. So you need to know where that Milky Way is. I use photo pills. Just look through those videos, man. There's lots of videos there about how I use photo pills. If you guys want a dedicated photo pills video, put a comment down there and let me know, and I'll add it to the list. But right now, for us, if it wasn't raining outside right now, the galactic core would be rising right now. It would be not too high, but it's probably about 30 degrees high in the sky. And right now, at this time of year, it's a perfect time to take these photos. Right through for us here in Australia, it's from probably a month ago it started. If you were in a fine enough window to get that Milky Way, and all the way through up until probably the beginning of November. And it just moves through the sky at different times of the year, at the same time of the day, but at different times through the year, it'll be in different points of the sky. But as far as the iPhone or the Pixel 4a, it's probably the easiest phone to do astrophotography with. It's a matter of setting it up, putting it on a tripod, make sure it's on a tripod, go into night mode, and astrophotography will automatically go on. And if it's dark enough, it'll go to 4 minutes and 6 seconds, I think it is. Just push the button and wait. There's really not much else to it. It's probably one of the easiest phones to shoot the Milky Way with. It's, from what we've seen in the last couple of videos that I've put out, we know it's probably not the best, the result that you get at the end of it all, but it's certainly a good video, a good phone, an easy phone to do it. I'm pretty much through what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, guys. Is there anything else that you want to know from me? I'll give it a few minutes before I shut down. Tripod recommendations. So I'm actually tomorrow or the next day, you'll see a video of just the gear that I use for astrophotography and all the equipment. That's the video, the equipment for astrophotography. That's the apps, the phone, the covers, the tripods, all that sort of business, the holders that I use for astrophotography. There's 2 different tripods that I would say. One is, I'm using it right there, holding the microphone. I think I've got another one somewhere. That's that Joby tripod, the flexible tripod. And that Joby tripod, I take it on the bike, on the motorbike, because it's like, I don't know, 24 inches long or something, 12 inches long. It's not big. And the other tripod that I use is this one here. This is a Manfrotto tripod. And the ones that, the tripods that you see in the descriptions of all the videos is this one here is about 10, 12 years old. It's an older tripod. I've had it for, this thing's been all over the world. The one that's in the description of all the videos that I do is the later model of this one, if you like. I used to use pan and tilt heads. Pan and tilt heads. I'm just looking around my room here because I've got camera shit everywhere. So it's easy to explain things to you when I just show you one. how's that for professional broadcasting? So that's a ball head, what's on there. I'll just move out of the way a bit so you can see it silhouetted a bit. So you just loosen this and the head moves around, and then you tighten this up and it doesn't move anymore. And I find that's just bloody easy to use. This is a tilt and pan head. So you would loosen this off and it moves up and down, tighten it back up and it doesn't anymore. And this one here will tilt it left and right. I used this sort of head when I first started with photography, because that's what the majority of tripods came out with, was one of these. And then some smart cookie invented this bad boy, and I've never used that sort of tripod head ever again. I've always used a ball head. When it comes to the tripods that you're going to use, for us, tripods are all about weight. So this tripod is weighted for my Canon 5D with a 400mm lens on it, which is, from memory, it's almost 2 kilos. So it's a pretty heavy sort of camera setup to use. That's the maximum weight of the heaviest gear that I've got combined. So tripods are all about weight and how much weight it will carry. And with us, when we're dealing with just that, it doesn't weigh very much, so it doesn't really matter. The Joby tripod with the flexible legs, you can get those with a ball head. Most of them, almost all of them, come with a ball head now, so it's all in one there. The other stuff that and they're all in the descriptions of the videos that I do. The other stuff that I use for astrophotography, will just wait a couple of days and you'll see it all. But that should answer your tripod question. You don't need to pay a lot for what we do with the phones, and if all you're going to do is using a tripod with the phone, you don't need to spend too much. You can get like the little Joby tripods, I think, are like $80 or something. They're not hell expensive. You can spend a couple of $1,000s on tripods. Don't worry. You're in the UK. Another tripod that I use is a 3-legged thing. It's called 3-legged thing, and that's actually a UK company. That's not too bad. They're carbon tripods. They're a bit more expensive, but they're not too bad. Definitely check them out. So that's all I've got to say about tripods at the moment. I have not looked at affinity stacking yet. How can I explain this? Affinity stack, the Affinity program, it's another program that I'm going to go and learn. I haven't used it yet. It's something that I'll probably look at as the season passes, keeps on going on. Do you think that it's any better than what I showed you with Starry Landscape Stacker? I'm curious. Video on how to make the best of this. Yeah, I'm hearing you. At the moment down here, I've had that many plans. I was going to Melbourne twice for with what my wife does with the beauty products and stuff that she makes, and she does like commercial markets and things like that. So she was going to Melbourne, and then they locked us down again, so we didn't do that. So that one got canned. The next time she went down, I had a photo shoot to do, so I couldn't go down. So I've got these plans to get out of my environment here, like as in the countryside, and head to town, as in the city, Melbourne, the capital of our state, and do some basically street walking and take a heap of photos with this phone and talk about the settings that we have on this phone. Haven't got there yet, but it's not too far away, I don't think. There's a few things on the calendar. I think I'm going there within the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned there, Professor. There'll be definitely videos about that. More editing tips. Scott Baker. When to do what on your photos? Always overwhelmed by. Okay. Sweet. So in that being the case, are you talking about just on your phone? We're talking about here, Scott Baker. Are we talking about just editing on your phone or on the computer? I do the stuff that I do with Lightroom on the computer because it's the same for the most part on the phone. It's just when I've got a bigger screen that I can record, hopefully you guys can see that better. But I can certainly do it all on the phone if you like. I'll definitely do some more editing videos. I'm probably, if I can, I'm going to do that more in these sessions here, in the live sessions, because I think you're going to get more out of it. I think if I can do an edit and you're asking questions while I do it, I think you'll probably get more out of it rather than me just sitting here talking at you about what I do. But if you can explain why I'm doing things, well, hopefully that helps you. That's about it, guys, I reckon. If there's nothing else, I'm going to see you guys next week. I'll catch you later. All right.